I guess the first daylight we've seen in about 2 or 3 days. Yeah. I work at my local branch of Tesco. I've been there for the last 2 years and I really enjoy my job. It's a very nice, friendly place to work.
Yay!
I am married. I have 3 children. And of course we have our gorgeous little granddaughter Eliza, who is 2 1/4 now.
Wow!
Family is everything.
Should we go to the beach? Should we go to the beach? What do you think?
Mum to a teenager, happily married, part-time job, living in a nice small town, pet that we love. I just think how lucky I am.
We came to this country from Pakistan well over 50 years ago. When the floods happened, there was just this need to do something. I wanted to do something. We did a lot of fundraising for Oxfam from 2010 onwards.
I've been an Oxfam supporter for at least 12 years. It's such a small thing. It's such a small thing to do. If I kept my £5, I'd be £5 better off. But somebody who's lost their house or whose village has been destroyed, £5 to them could make a huge difference.
I don't talk about being an Oxfam supporter. I'm part of Oxfam. We talk about the Oxfam family. Oxfam would not survive without their supporters. They are Oxfam.
From my point of view, it's going to be such a fantastic opportunity to go somewhere I've never been, see a completely different culture. Some of it's going to be really uplifting, but some of it's going to be really hard. I'm really, really looking forward to see how Oxfam is helping.
It's fantastic to have the opportunity to see how other people live. Sometimes I think you need to witness that because it makes you a little bit more resolute to get that message out there. We don't have to have poverty. You know, we don't have to have this level of poverty in the world.
So the engineers came up with this gravity-fed water system where there's no pumps required. It doesn't matter if it rains or not, the water still comes from underground.
This tank will serve to the one community here, and this tank will serve to that community, and that tank will serve to the downward community on the river side.
This system is amazing. It goes down into deep, deep valleys, back up again into the distribution tanks to go back down into the next valley, to come back up to more tanks.
हाम्रो धेरै नै क्षति पुर्यायो हामीले यो ठाउँमा। हामीले निरन्तर रूपमा यो पानीको योजना परेदेखिबाट चाहिँ हामीले एकदम सङ्घर्ष गरेको। हजुरहरूले पनि धेरै धेरै सहयोग गर्नुभएकोमा हजुरहरूलाई पनि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद।
Each house now has its own tap. And what a difference. And that's why I donate to Oxfam.
I am just in awe of what I've seen over the last few days. I've seen women building houses, I've seen women helping dig holes for water tanks to go in, I've seen women running the management committees that are going to decide how this water scheme is going to be run in their villages.
पहिलाको त अब डाइरेक्ट ल्याउँथे पाइपमा, अब फोहोर पनि आउँथ्यो होला, मैले नै खान्थ्यो होला, अब त्यो ट्याङ्कीबाट अब सफा नि खान पाउने भयो घर घरमा।
I'm really impressed by seeing what you have achieved here. And I've seen women not sitting back and taking nonsense simply because of their gender.
खुसी लाग्यो नि।
Absolutely fantastic. And I'm incredibly proud to be associated with Oxfam.
This is my dog, and he's called Max, and he is very silly. To see school children, boys and girls, singing and talking about gender equality and the end to child marriage, it's just fantastic. I spoke to a fantastic young lady. She said she was one of the youngest of 7 daughters in her family. And at 15 years old, she would have expected to have been married off by now and be working. Yet she's still at school, she's following her education, and she has great plans for the future.
यो स्याक नेपाल र अक्सफामलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद म खुसी लाग्छ तपाईहरुसित भेट्न पाउँदा
The Women's Project was very much about providing them with the tools that they need to challenge a lot of the misogyny that has gone on in the villages for so many years.
महिलाहरुले सानोमा बिहे गरेपछि हामीलाई धेरै असरहरु धेरै दुखहरु भोग्न पर्दो रहेछ हैन दुख पाइन्छ हामीले आफ्नो छोरीको दुख पनि त हेर्न सक्दैनौ नि.
They sang a song about women's empowerment and women's rights, and they just had a real good life. They are not going to sit back and let the world walk all over them. It's just not going to happen. Fantastic work that's being done.
In Scotland, we grow a lot of fruit, raspberries and strawberries and things, in tunnels. But the tunnel is to keep the heat in, not to keep the heat out, because we don't have enough heat. This one? We drove to an agricultural project which Oxfam has been supporting. And this is where they're introducing irrigation techniques and new agricultural methods, such as using polytunnels, to the local farmers to increase their yields. And on this very, very steep slope into which these terraces have been cut, they were growing cabbages, broccoli, potatoes, chilies and tomatoes. And they're getting a decent living from it. It's just a wonderful thing to see.
I've been quite staggered by the distances that we've travelled just today to see some of these projects. Most of the journey that we took was not on tarmacked roads, and I think for me that's been a bit of an eye-opener. What I have seen is Oxfam providing the right support in the right places. It might be 4 hours drive from the nearest town, but actually if that's where the support is needed, that's where we need to be providing it, and that is exactly what Oxfam are doing.
That,
Cross.
and cross,
Oh.
and again. And then we went to see a Dakar weaving project. The lady I spoke to had 4 looms before the earthquake. The earthquake destroyed everything. Oxfam helped her to re-establish not only her own business, but she now has 10 looms, and she employs 10 women who previously had no experience of weaving.
Tam bila le jasa we puna jasangena talim dia.
I do not do weaving, but I do crochet. I have a small business in the UK with things that I make. So this is why I enjoy seeing this.
The support.
Okay. That's not bad. I've seen some incredible work being done over the last couple of weeks.
Okay, and the pots go in there?
The earthquake happened 4 years ago, but there's still an awful lot that needs to be done. Oxfam can only do as much as donations allow them to do. They can't do this work without donations from their supporters. Every penny helps. This is a trip that is going to stay with me a lifetime.